is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back with some Final Fantasy gameplay here. Got some background Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay for you. And before anyone comments, yes, I am 100% aware that my loadouts and equipment and materia is all over the damn place. Because as I said, I just popped this in, re-download just to get some background gameplay for you. So yes, and also I'm still trying to relearn the game because it's been a little while since I played this. So in case you were wondering, so don't expect any great gameplay from me as I barely survive these fights. But anyway, enough of that because we're not here to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay. We're here to talk about Final Fantasy 16. And for those of you who don't know, I have a lot of favorite franchises in video games, obviously for playing video games for over a quarter century. But my three favorite consists of, one you probably obviously know is Resident Evil, and I've been spoiled rotten with that this year and with more to come. The other is Metal Gear Solid, and the other one would be Final Fantasy, which is a big year for it this year. Now, obviously, we have Remake Part 2, or Rebirth, I should say, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, even though it's not 100% confirmed to come out this year. But the one that is, and that's the one I'm more focused on, is Final Fantasy 16. Now, guys, of all the games come out this year, this is the one I really hope is good, more than any other game. Even though I was really excited for Resident Evil 4 Remake, and that definitely made me extremely happy and excited from someone who loves the original one. It was a game that I kind of thought was going to be good anyway. There really wasn't too much shock about that. But Final Fantasy 16 is the one I want to be good more than any other game this year for a numerous of reasons. We just had a state of play that made me very pleased. I still have a few reservations about a few things that I don't think will be answered until I personally play the game myself. But overall, I did enjoy it. But why do I want this game to be so good? Guys, let me take you a trip back in time. Obviously, I've liked the Final Fantasy franchise longer than both the Resident Evil and Metal Gear Solid franchise because I've been playing them longer. You know, my first one was the original Final Fantasy VII back in '97, my first ever PS1 game. And since then, I've always been a huge Final Fantasy fan. However, back in those days, not just with Final Fantasy, but that SNES and PS1 era, that was the golden age of JRPGs. Oh my god, like, if you were blindfolded and you had a bunch of JRPGs and you just pick one, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get a good one, because that's just how dead on they were. And that was when they were called Square, before becoming Squaresoft, and then now what they know is Square Enix. And obviously there was other studios making things like, you know, Tri-Ace and stuff like that. But my point is that was the golden age, and it was just a happy time to be a JRPG fan. Unfortunately, I won't say that there isn't great. There is, don't get me wrong, but I think they're a lot harder to come by nowadays for numerous reasons. But I want to focus on the Final Fantasy franchise because, guys, I'll be honest with you, it's been a long time since I played a really good Final Fantasy game. And I'm not going to count the recent remake with Final Fantasy VII Remake just because it is a remake, and obviously we know that by default, you know, regardless of where you stand on that, I think we can say it's a well put together game, regardless if you're a fan of that or maybe you like the original more, maybe you're just excited regardless. It doesn't matter, that's not the point. We all know it's going to be a well put together game. But my point is it's a remake. It's not like doing anything different. It's not adapting something completely different. I want them to prove that they can make new, great Final Fantasy games. Because it's been too damn long. Like, I'll tell you how long it's been. For me personally, and I'm speaking to single-player Final Fantasy games, if you're a fan of the MMOs, like, you know, Final Fantasy 14, which looks great. I'm just not an MMO player, so I just disqualify myself from that conversation. But single-player Final Fantasy games, the gap between one I've really enjoyed is about as long as I've been a Resident Evil fan. Because I played Resident Evil 4, my first ever Resident Evil, back in 2005. The last Final Fantasy game I really enjoyed came out in 2006. That was Final Fantasy 12. And since then, I've played other Final Fantasy games. I played 13. I don't think it was as bad as people make it out to be, but it wasn't great. I never got into 15. With 16, I really hope they can bring back that magic, because it's just, there's no excuse to be that absent that long. And obviously playing the remake Final Fantasy VII kind of reignited my emotions of loving Final Fantasy because it's been that long. But as much as I can't wait for the next part of the remake, I want them to prove they can make great Final Fantasy games, new Final Fantasy games. And with this state of play, there's a lot to like. Obviously, I'll get into the big one that everyone talks about is the combat. Obviously, the combat looks great. It looks awesome, epic, just absolutely stunning. Whether it's the combat with just the main character Clive, or him and his semi-transformation forms with the icons, or the actual icon battles themselves, they just look absolutely epic. I know a lot of people are thinking, "Oh, this doesn't feel like Final Fantasy," but guys, you can't do the same thing over and over. And this is coming from someone who loves turn-based battle systems. And I know some people are a little bummed out by that, but you gotta look at the writing on the wall. I don't think if you sold a Final Fantasy in today's world, a new one I should say, maybe you can do like, a remaster or something like that, but like just a brand new Final Fantasy game, I don't think you can sell one with a turn-based battle system. I don't think it's gonna make the money it would compared to, being more action-based and completely action-based is in this new one. And I have no problem with that. And this comes from someone who loves turn-based. It's kind of similar to how, a lot of OG Resident Evil fans are like, well, why don't we have fixed camera angles? And nothing against fixed camera angles. They're fine, too. They're great. I don't personally care which angle the camera is, personally. But do you really think, like, these newer Resident Evil games would sell the way they are with fixed camera angles in today's climate? And I know it sucks because, you'd want to have everyone have, something to enjoy even today. And not to say I think any of those things are archaic, because I like them both. But I don't know if they're going to make the money in today's climate if they were like that. That's my whole point, because you got to look at the whole picture, not just the small size. And I just, to me, it doesn't bother, because at the end of the day, is the game fun? And that's the most important part. And you can't sit there and say, oh, it doesn't look fun to play. Maybe it's not personally the thing you wanted in terms of a battle system, but at the end of the day, is the game fun? But that's one thing I like about Final Fantasy over the years. Even the ones that maybe didn't hit, they've always tried to experiment with their battle system. And some of the Resident Evil, they've always tried to experiment with different things. Why? Maybe that's why I like the franchise so much, is they're not afraid to be different. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't, but I don't want you to do the same thing over and over and over again and become stale. You got to try different things, and that's what I like. But the big thing for me, and this is what they have to nail, and this is why I just couldn't get into some of the other ones, is with Final Fantasy, you have to nail. I was talking about it last night with my Dead Island video. Like, the story, we're not playing Dead Island for a story. Just have a silly, stupid thing. We're not taking it serious. So with Final Fantasy, you have to nail the story. You have to nail the characters. You have to. You can't. There is no tomorrow in that category. You have to. And I don't deny that I think the story will be entertaining. I'm still reservations about the characters, because I see a lot from Clive, the main character, being cool, but I don't know if I got enough on the other characters and just being like, because my big thing is they kind of, with the exception of Clive, they all kind of look, and it's just the look, the aesthetic, but Final Fantasy always has a unique aesthetic with their characters. There's no characters that are standing out like a Tifa or a Barret or a Yuna or an Auron or whoever, a Squall or something like that, other than the main character Clive. Other than him, but everyone else is just they kind of look all normal. It kind of have that just like NPC look. I mean, they are NPCs, but not ones that you're gonna be like raving about. And I hope by playing the game they can prove me wrong there, because you need cool characters. Like Final Fantasy always has cool characters and stuff. So we need some more unique characters. So maybe it's just the looks. Hopefully, when we get to playing the story, we can see them being great, awesome, memorable characters. So I'm holding out hope for that. And plus, you got a dog. It's always cool to play with a dog companion. Ain't that right, Leon? But anyway, another thing I did enjoy was the fact that they got those quests. It's very reminiscent of Final Fantasy 12, where you have the quest board and you hunt the creatures, because I love that from Final Fantasy 12. You got the world map. I see a lot of people saying it's got similarities to Final Fantasy 12, which I'm all for. I definitely did enjoy Final Fantasy 12. But overall, just capture the old magic. Like, you can do things differently, but can you nail a great story? It looks like you're nailing the battle system. It looks like you went up and beyond that, especially with the icons. And, Final Fantasy is always famous for whatever you want to call them. The summons, the Aeons, the GFs, the icons, whatever you want to call them. They're always iconic things in Final Fantasy, and this seems like they took that a step beyond, and I really can't wait to actually involve myself in the battles between icons and stuff like that. But I just want, at the end of the day, when I play a JRPG, one of my favorite genres, I want to be like, Was the journey I took from the beginning to the end, was it worth it? And is it a journey I'm going to be talking about for years to come? And that's the biggest thing with any JRPG. But hopefully they can stick the landing. It comes out June, sooner than expected. I cannot wait for that to come out. I'm definitely jumping on that day one. But that is what I think. What do you guys think? Are you an old school Final Fantasy fan from that golden era? Have you been maybe bummed out? Maybe the remake got you invested again? Or do you want to see a brand new Final Fantasy game be good like me and not just them remaking things? Which I like remakes, but I want the best of both worlds. And did this state of play get you more excited? Or maybe you're just not a fan of it all. Did it get you interested at all, even if you're a new fan? But let me know in the comment section down below. That is going to be it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully I can see you guys back on the next one. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you all later. Peace.